So you're planning to apply for a visa and you do not know how much you will need to show as proof of funds. That is the reason why we've made this video, to educate you on how to calculate your proof of funds and how you can apply for your visa with the right amount in your bank account. So let's take, for example, the UK. If you want to apply for proof of funds, there are two things you have to consider if your study is in London or outside of London. So if it is in London, it is a different amount. If it is outside in London, a different amount is required. Generally, proof of funds is calculated like this: cost of living in a designated destination plus the balance of your tuition. Now, what does that mean? So let's look at the numbers. In London, the required amount is £1,529 per month. Multiply that by 9, that will give you the required amount for cost of living for 1 full year. So if you are living outside of London, the required amount is 1,171 per month. Multiply that by 9, it will give you the cost of living outside of London. So if your school is outside of London, plus if your school is inside of London, that will tell you the total amount you need to have in your bank account as cost of living plus your tuition balance. What does that mean? For example, you have been admitted into a school. Let's say, for example, the cost of the school is £15,000, as the case may be, and you've been required to pay £5,000. You have a balance of £10,000. So £10,000 plus the amount that we just calculated will give you the total amount you need to have in your bank account when applying for your student visa. One tip I would like to add: if you're applying to the UK, do not put the exact amount that you've calculated in your bank account. Always add about maybe 1,000 or 2,000 more, so that you would have a bit extra in case the exchange rate fluctuates, okay, so that you will not be caught unawares. Remember, if your proof of funds reduces by 1 cent during the application process, your visa could be refused. So always have a bit more. All right, so now let's talk about Canada. How much is required by the Canadian government? Canada is a bit different when it comes to proof of funds. It's not like the UK where you talk about when your school is in London, your school is outside of London and all that. So for Canada, the required cost of living is $22,895. That should cover for your transportation, for your housing, for your daily expenses. That is what the Canadian government have decided that should be enough for a student to live comfortably for 1 year. Now, if you want to apply to Canada, what you need to do is add 22,895 Canadian dollars plus the balance of your tuition. That will show you how much you need to present for your 1 year proof of funds. So what that means is that, take for instance, you have a school that have charged you 14,000 Canadian dollars for 1 full year, and you have been required to pay 4,000 Canadian dollars. Let's say, for example, you've paid 4,000 Canadian dollars, and now you have 10,000 Canadian dollars as the balance that you need to pay. So you need to show the 10,000 Canadian dollars plus 22,895 Canadian dollars in your bank account as proof of funds for 1 year. Now, take home for Canada, or what you need to know about the proof of funds when it comes to Canada. All right, do not show exactly the amount that is required as proof of funds. Always have more, because you're going to buy books, you're going to pay for your flights, etc. So if you want to apply to Canada, let's take, for example, you have calculated your proof of funds and it's 30,000 Canadian dollars. At least have 40,000 Canadian dollars or 35,000 Canadian dollars or more. The more, the merrier when it comes to Canada. And also remember to prove to Canada that you have extra source of income, that is not the entire money in your entire life, rather. So always prove that you have income outside of what you have shown, right? You have a savings elsewhere, you have maybe an investment elsewhere, you have a job that pays you, monthly, even after you are gone, you have a business, these are the things that will help strengthen your proof of funds. So take notes, and I wish you all the best in your student visa application. I'll see you in the next video.